Ellen DeGeneres was daytime TV's queen of nice. She danced, she talked to cute kids, and surprise, she's a huge asshole.
Ellen DeGeneres feeling the heat.
Bullying, now even sexual harassment.
Hey, Ellen DeGeneres, I hope you never find employment again.
Turns out Shorty is a demon. Somebody stop this woman before it's too late.
You know, people found out that Ellen was mean, and all these people came out and said, Ellen's actually a fucking bitch. She lost everything. She fell apart, disappeared, because people found out that this character that she was portraying in half an hour on a television show is not really who she was. You know, but I hadn't already known that. My buddy Greg, who was one of her writers, was like, she's a piece of shit.
So former employees actually said that Ellen's "Be Kind" mantra, it was all for show.
For 19 seasons, Ellen DeGeneres repeated one message to America again and again: be kind. That message became her identity, but later things started to change. Former employees began speaking out and shared stories about a workplace filled with fear, unfair treatment, and serious problems behind the scenes. Many people were surprised because the woman who told millions to be kind was described very differently by those who worked close to her. Now her image is being compared with two well-known voices in Hollywood. First is Keanu Reeves. He never created a Be Kind campaign. He never used a slogan or catchphrase. He simply lives his life quietly, and for many years, people have shared stories about his kindness on their own. Then there is Katt Williams. He has spent years talking about how Hollywood sometimes creates public images that are not always real. Some people called him controversial, but others believe he was pointing out important truths. Three people, three different paths in fame. One built a career around a message. One earned respect through quiet actions, and one kept warning people about how the industry works. So today, let's take a closer look at the rise and fall of Ellen's Be Kind image, what people later said about life behind the scenes, and why comparisons with Keanu Reeves and Katt Williams are now part of a much bigger conversation about honesty and reputation in Hollywood.
Oh yeah, I got kicked out of show business.
Yeah. Before the famous slogan and the success of her talk show, Ellen DeGeneres was simply a young woman from Metairie, Louisiana, trying to find her direction in life. Born on January 26, 1958, she grew up in an ordinary middle-class family and worked several small jobs before entering comedy, including selling products door-to-door and waitressing. In 1981, she performed stand-up comedy for the first time.
Funniest person on the planet?
In America, not the planet.
Oh, yeah.
At age 23, over the next few years, she slowly built her reputation. A major turning point came in 1986 when she appeared on The Tonight Show and was invited by Johnny Carson to sit on the famous couch after her performance. A moment many comedians consider a sign they have truly arrived. Her sitcom Ellen premiered in 1994 and helped make her more widely known. Then in 1997, she publicly came out as gay on the cover of Time magazine, being a bold decision at the time that led to strong backlash and several difficult years in her career. However, she eventually returned to television, and in 2003 she launched The Ellen DeGeneres Show, which would change her career completely.
September 8th, this is our very first show, and you are my very first audience.
On her show, Ellen DeGeneres danced with the audience, played games, made people laugh, and repeated one message again and again until it became part of American culture: be kind to one another. Over time, the program grew into one of the most successful daytime shows on television. It ran for 19 seasons and produced more than 3,000 episodes. During that time, Ellen won 64 Daytime Emmy Awards, more than any other talk show host in history. The show became famous for surprising people with generous gifts. Some guests received cars, others were given financial support during difficult moments in their lives. Many viewers remember emotional scenes where ordinary families left the studio in tears, saying the experience had changed their lives. The message of kindness did not stay only on television. It expanded into products, merchandise, odds, and online programs connected to Ellen's brand. By that point, Ellen was no longer just a talk show host. She had become a powerful public figure whose image was strongly connected to kindness itself. However, behind the cameras and away from the audience, there were quiet concerns that did not match the public image. Rumors slowly began to circulate about what life was really like behind the scenes. At first, those stories stayed mostly out of public view, but over time, more people began speaking up, and the difference between the on-screen message and the workplace experience started to become part of a much larger conversation.
TV personality is speaking out about what it was like working closely with Ellen DeGeneres.
What happened to Tony! Tony Okunbowa was the on-air DJ at The Ellen Show for 11 years. Now he is addressing allegations of a toxic work environment that is threatening Ellen's reputation as the Queen of Nice.
This TV producer is speaking out on camera for the first time about what it was like working for Ellen DeGeneres.
Toxic, phony, hypocrite, liar.
Looking back, some viewers later felt there were small warning signs in certain interviews that didn't fully match Ellen DeGeneres' public image. One moment often mentioned happened in 2012 when a young Taylor Swift appeared on the show to promote her album. During the interview, Ellen played a game where she showed photos of men and asked Taylor to confirm whether she had dated them. At first, Taylor laughed along, but soon she asked Ellen to stop and explained that she
What are you doing?
preferred to keep the focus on her music rather than her personal life. Even so, the game continued. At the time, the audience treated it as harmless fun, but years later, many viewers revisited the clip and noticed that Taylor seemed genuinely uncomfortable during the exchange. Another moment people often point to happened in 2019, when Dakota Johnson appeared on the show. Ellen joked about not being invited to Dakota's birthday party, expecting a light reaction. Instead, Dakota calmly replied that Ellen actually had been invited.
Happy belated birthday. When was your birthday?
It was October 4th.
October 4th. You turned 30.
I did.
And how was the party? I wasn't invited.
Actually, no, that's not the truth, Ellen. You were invited. Last time I was on the show, last year, you gave me a bunch of about not inviting you, but I didn't even know you wanted to be invited.
Well, who doesn't want to be invited to a party?
Well, I didn't even know you liked me.
The studio became quiet for a moment, and the exchange quickly caught attention online afterward. For some viewers, moments like these suggested that the friendly tone of the show did not always feel the same to every guest who appeared on the couch. There was also an earlier interview with Mariah Carey in 2008 that many people discussed years later. During that appearance, Ellen encouraged Mariah to drink champagne as part of a joke meant to address pregnancy rumors. The audience laughed at the time, and Mariah went along with the moment on camera.
People are saying that that you're pregnant. There's rumors. Don't discuss that. All right. Well, you don't have to. No, that's okay. No, honestly, you don't have to answer. Let's just toast with champagne.
However, she later shared that she had experienced a miscarriage shortly before that interview, which gave the situation a much more serious meaning when viewers look back on it later. What had once seemed like lighthearted jokes began to take on a much more serious tone. At first, many of these moments were brushed off as small incidents, just Ellen being Ellen, but in 2020, the situation escalated. A BuzzFeed article revealed that former employees were speaking out and more people soon came forward. And they described a workplace where fear was constant, where staff were yelled at over minor mistakes, and even threatened with dismissal for taking time off for family, doctor's appointments, or simply being human. Allegations of racism also surfaced, and some senior producers were accused of inappropriate behavior. The behind-the-scenes culture was described as toxic and harsh. In response, Ellen apologized publicly, saying she was devastated that such things had happened on her show and promised to do better.
As you may have heard, this summer there were allegations of a toxic work environment at our show. I learned that things happened here that never should have happened. I take that very seriously, and I want to say I am so sorry to the people who were affected.
The show would go on, they said, but the woman who told millions to be kind faced a harsh reality. Ellen had built an empire on that word, yet for the people who worked for her, kindness wasn't real. It was a brand, and once that brand cracked, the fall was inevitable. When the allegations broke, Ellen did what many celebrities do when their mask slips. She apologized and claimed she didn't know about the toxic behavior behind the scenes. But how could she not know? How could someone who built a career on kindness be unaware that her own workplace was ruled by fear? Comedian Katt Williams has spent years explaining exactly this. Long before Ellen's downfall, he warned anyone who would listen about Hollywood's machinery. They don't make people, they manufacture images. He describes it as a three-phase process. First, one, a character molding. You are given a flattering label, kind, wholesome, relatable, building a public persona that may have nothing to do with who you truly are. Second, manipulation. manipulation and suppression. NDAs, power, and money are used to silence anyone who might expose the truth. Complaints vanish. Whistleblowers are buried. Third, the PR machine. Staged acts of generosity, charity appearances, heartfelt speeches, all designed to protect the brand. Seen this way, Ellen's career makes sense. Her kindness wasn't real. It was packaged, marketed, and sold. Compare that with Keanu Reeves. After The Matrix, he received a big bonus. Instead of keeping it, he shared it with the visual effects and costume teams who made the film possible, but rarely get credit. He's been spotted taking public transport, offering his seat to pregnant women, us, and treating everyone, from assistants to technicians, with the same respect he shows a studio executive. No cameras, no applause. Most stories of his generosity come from strangers who felt compelled to share. That's why he's earned the nickname, the internet's boyfriend, not through PR or marketing, but through decades of genuine actions. Katt Williams' warning holds true. Hollywood creates brands, not people. And when the brand cracks, the truth emerges. By 2022, after nearly 20 years, the Ellen DeGeneres show ended. Ratings had fallen, trust was gone, and the carefully built brand was shattered. By 2024, Ellen and her wife relocated to the English countryside. She attempted a comeback with a comedy special, but the reception was icy. The public hadn't forgotten. Ellen's story is a cautionary tale. Hollywood doesn't make people, it makes brands. Brands can be polished, packaged, and sold, but eventually they break. Meanwhile, Keanu continues to live quietly, generously, authentically. Katt continues to speak the truth even when no one listens. The contrast is stark. Would you trust the person who constantly tells you to be kind, or the one who simply lives it? Ellen's kindness was a performance. Keanu's is a way of life. One needed an audience, the other needed nothing but being himself. Authenticity can't be manufactured, and the truth always comes out. Did Ellen deserve the fall, or was she just a scapegoat for a broken system? And how many others in Hollywood are hiding behind a carefully crafted smile? Do you think Ellen DeGeneres was misunderstood, or did the truth about her finally come out? Tell me your thoughts in the comments below. Before you go, don't forget to like this video, share it with someone who believes kindness in Hollywood is always real, and subscribe to the channel for more stories like this.